Has this ever happened to you? Well, good news, you're not alone. Zoning is one of the most frustrating parts of getting into fighting games. If you don't know all the tools you have to beat it, it can make you feel helpless and tilted, which will only make winning a lot harder. My name is Nico, and today I want to help explain some of the tools that are available to you in 2xKO so that it can make zoning feel a little bit more manageable and get you closer to landing a hit on that slimy little rodent Teemo. The video will be split into chapters, so feel free to skip around to wherever you need. First things first, we have one question we need to answer.
You gonna learn today!
No, you're not. You're using a cheat mode.
Zoning is using long-range attacks and movement to keep your opponent away from you. In 2xKO, characters like Jinx and Teemo have kits fully designed around zoning to make sure you can never touch them. But a lot of characters have their own way of zoning, so you have multiple ways to approach your opponent, like Echo's Timewinder, Darius' Salted Earth, or even just backdashing. Learning how your opponent is using their zoning tools is crucial to being able to get in on them and get that first hit.
You missed me!
Contrary to popular belief, most zoners are not just mashing the same move over and over with no thought in their head. Due to a lot of zoners' attacks being slow and leaving them vulnerable, a good zoner uses their attacks to learn how you react to them. If you constantly jump over them, then they'll know how to hit you out of the sky next time they throw it. If you always roll through them, they might call an assist to cover the ground. Mixing up the ways you react to zoning will make it so your opponent can't predict your next move and give you more opportunities to get in. A lot of characters in 2xKO have their own unique ways of getting past projectiles, so finding what works for you is important to give yourself more tools to work with. As I said before, many characters have their own unique ways to avoid projectiles. The game is still in early access, so some of these may change and there will be more defined when new characters come out, but here are some of the ways you can start fighting against zoners right now. Here's some of the mechanics that can be used by every character in the game to help against zoning. Dash blocking. Dash blocking is probably one of the strongest mechanics in any fighting game to approach your opponent safely. You just want to slowly inch towards your opponent while stopping and holding down back every few steps. This lets you close in on your opponent while preemptively avoiding getting pushed back by projectiles. Assist block. This may seem kind of ridiculous at first, but throwing out your assist to body block a projectile for you is actually a very strong tool as well. If you use a character with an assist that moves forward, you can go straight through projectiles and immediately start your offense. Parry. You may have learned about this mechanic in the tutorial. It's a very strong tool in 2xKO because it can completely turn the tide in your favor with just some good timing. Using it against projectiles can be very hard if your opponent is mixing up their timing, but walking forward with no care in the world has to be the best feeling when you pull it off. Now onto some of the character-specific methods. Echo has this cool move where he can roll and create a clone by pressing down S2. This can be used to roll under your opponent and has lots of mix-up potential, but also goes straight through slow projectiles. Vi has a couple ways to get in. The first one is her sway, this little move that happens when you press forwards or backwards S1. It moves really fast and lets you zip straight past anything in your way and can even let you go behind your opponent if you press it again. Vi's S1 super is another great way to get in if your opponent wants to sit at full screen. You just charge up and go flying like a freight train past whatever puny things your opponent wants to throw at you. Yasuo can throw down a wind wall by pressing back and S2. This stops any enemy projectiles and can also be hit with his S1 or S2 to create a bunch of really cool and unique interactions like a tornado that moves forwards or a full screen slash. Yasuo's wind wall is also his assist, so even if he's not your main character, you can still use his anti-zoning abilities. Darius is one of the characters that struggles the most with zoning due to his size and lack of speed. He does have one move though, and his S2 super Noxian Might. This super is a huge, almost full screen slash that completely destroys projectiles and wounds the opponent, making them take more damage while blocking. Throwing this out when you see your opponent use a slow move can instantly change the momentum of the fight in Darius' favor. The last character-specific ability I want to go over is Warwick's Run. Releasing alongside the Rat, Warwick is our newest character and it seems like they gave him some of the best tools to handle the new onslaught of projectiles in the game. By pressing S1, Warwick performs a jumping overhead attack, but if you hold S1, you can keep running straight through projectiles. You can also press forward S1 out of the run to do a lunge at the opponent, knocking them back. Warwick also has a unique mechanic called Bloodlust, which is a meter that builds up as you hit the opponent. Once it's filled up, you see this really cool effect and it makes all of your moves even more terrifying, making his forward S1 an incredibly fast slash that goes through projectiles and now bounces the opponent off the wall. So that's all the tips I have for you guys on how to handle and understand zoning in 2x KO. I know a lot of people have found a lot of frustration with zoning in the game, so hopefully you were able to find something useful out of this video. This is my first time making something like this, so if you have any feedback or want to see more, please let me know in the comments. Go out there and make some more Teemos regret not wearing a helmet. Peace!